In this episode, we're going to talk about something that can make all the hard work we've put into this farm so far useless if we don't take it seriously. I'm talking about the health of your birds. Think about it. You can spend money on good chicks, you can give them the right feed, you can build a good house, provide clean water, and manage everything properly. But if you ignore the health of your flock, all that hard work can quickly start going in the wrong direction. And one of the biggest mistakes you can make in poultry farming is waiting for your chickens to become sick before you start thinking about their health. By the time you start seeing obvious signs of disease, you may already have a serious problem on your hands. And this is something I want you to understand from the beginning. Good poultry health management is mostly about prevention. It's much easier to prevent a disease from entering your farm than to try and control it after it has spread through the whole flock. If one bird gets sick and you identify the problem early, you still have a chance to separate that bird and investigate what's happening. But if you ignore it for several days and the disease spreads through the flock, you're dealing with a completely different situation. You could start losing birds, production could drop, you could spend a lot of money on treatment, and even if the birds eventually recover, you may still have lost a lot of money along the way. So don't wait until you have a sick flock before you start thinking about poultry health. Start thinking about prevention from day one. And in this episode, we're going to look at the things you can do to protect your flock, identify problems early, and reduce the chances of disease becoming a major problem on your farm. So let's start with one of the most important parts of poultry health, prevention. And this brings us to something called biosecurity. Now, biosecurity sounds like a complicated word, but the basic idea is actually very simple. You're trying to stop diseases from getting onto your farm in the first place, and you're also trying to stop diseases from spreading between your birds if something does get in. And one of the easiest ways for disease to enter a poultry farm is through people. Think about it. You might have a visitor who has just come from another poultry farm. They could unknowingly carry germs on their shoes, clothes, hands, or equipment. If that person walks straight into your poultry house, they could bring a problem with them without even knowing it. That's why you need to be careful about who enters your farm, where they have been, and what they bring with them. Because when it comes to poultry health, sometimes the best treatment is making sure the disease never gets through the door in the first place. They walk into your chicken house wearing the same shoes they used somewhere else. If those shoes are contaminated, you've just created a pathway for disease to enter your farm. That's why you need to control who enters your poultry house. It doesn't mean you have to treat every visitor like a criminal. It simply means you need to be careful. If someone doesn't need to enter the poultry house, don't let them enter. And if someone does need to enter, have a proper procedure. Use dedicated footwear or disinfect footwear properly. Keep the area around the poultry house clean. And avoid unnecessary movement between different poultry houses. This becomes even more important if you have several flocks on the same farm. For example, if you have young chicks in one house and older birds in another, don't move from the older birds to the young chicks without taking proper precautions. Young birds are particularly vulnerable, so you want to protect them as much as possible. The same principle applies to equipment. Don't move feeders, drinkers, crates, buckets, or other equipment from one poultry house to another without cleaning and disinfecting them properly. Biosecurity should be part of your normal routine. You shouldn't wait until your neighbor's chickens become sick before you start restricting movement around your farm. Make these practices normal from the beginning. That way, when there is a disease problem in your area, you're already prepared. And remember, you don't need an expensive setup to practice good biosecurity. You need discipline, you need a clean environment, you need to control movement, and you need to make sure that anything entering your poultry house doesn't become a way of bringing disease with it. Now let's talk about vaccination. Vaccination is one of the tools we use to protect chickens from diseases that can cause serious losses on the farm. But there's something important I want you to understand. Vaccination is not a replacement for good management. You can vaccinate your birds and still have problems if the farm has poor biosecurity, dirty water, bad ventilation, overcrowding, or poor nutrition. The vaccine is one part of the whole health program. And before you start vaccinating, you need to know what diseases you're actually trying to protect your birds against. This is where many beginners make a mistake. They find a vaccination schedule online, copy it, and start giving the same vaccines to their birds. I wouldn't recommend doing that. Vaccination programs can differ depending on where you are, the type of chickens you're keeping, the diseases common in your area, and the recommendations from your veterinarian or hatchery. So, get a vaccination program that's appropriate for your farm. If possible, get the schedule from the hatchery. You can also use the Poultry Intel Manager app. It automatically generates a vaccination schedule based on your bird type, age, and location. It tells you exactly when each vaccination is due and reminds you early, so you don't have to keep everything in your head. Now, having the right vaccination schedule is one thing, but you also need to understand that vaccines have to be handled properly. It's not simply a matter of buying a vaccine, putting it somewhere in the store, and remembering to give it to the birds whenever you get time. Some vaccines need to be kept refrigerated. They need to be protected from heat and direct sunlight. And once they're prepared for use, they need to be used according to the manufacturer's instructions. If a vaccine is damaged because it wasn't stored correctly, you may end up giving your birds something that isn't going to provide the protection you expected, and then you think the vaccine didn't work, when actually the problem was how it was handled. So always read the instructions that come with the vaccine. Another important point is that you generally vaccinate healthy birds. If the flock is already seriously sick, vaccination isn't going to suddenly cure the disease. That's not what vaccines are designed to do. Vaccines are meant to prepare the immune system to respond to specific diseases. That's why timing matters. You want the birds vaccinated according to a proper program before they are exposed to those diseases. And you also need to keep records. This might seem unnecessary when you have only a few birds, but once you have several flocks, you can easily forget what was done and when. And don't fall into the trap of thinking that because your birds have been vaccinated, they can no longer get sick. Vaccines reduce the risk and severity of specific diseases, but they don't make birds completely immune to every possible problem. You still need good hygiene, you still need clean water, you still need proper feed, you still need good ventilation, and you still need to monitor the flock every day. That's why I always look at vaccination as insurance. You hope you never need that protection, but you still want it in place. Now let's talk about recognizing a sick bird. This is one of the most useful skills you can develop as a poultry farmer. You don't have to be a veterinarian to notice that something isn't right. Your birds are in front of you every day. You know how they normally behave, so when something changes, you should be able to notice it. One of the first things I look at is behavior. Now imagine you walk into the house and notice one bird sitting in a corner by itself. It's not eating or drinking, its eyes are closed. That bird deserves your attention. It doesn't automatically mean that the bird has a particular disease. There could be many reasons for that behavior, but it's a warning sign. And that's the important thing. You're not trying to diagnose the disease yourself. You're trying to identify that something has changed so you can investigate. Another thing to watch is feed and water consumption. You should already have an idea of how much your flock normally eats and drinks. If the birds suddenly stop eating as much, don't ignore it. The same applies to water. Sometimes the change is caused by weather, sometimes it's related to feed, and sometimes it can be a health issue. Again, you're looking for a change. Then look at the birds themselves. Are there birds that are weak or having difficulty moving? Look at their eyes and nose. Are you seeing unusual discharge? Are the birds coughing or sneezing repeatedly? One sneeze doesn't mean your flock has a serious disease. But if many birds are showing respiratory signs, that's something you need to take seriously. Droppings can also tell you a lot. When you're walking through the poultry house, take a quick look at the litter. If you suddenly see a lot of abnormal droppings, especially together with birds becoming weak or losing appetite, that's a reason to investigate. And for layers, there's another very useful indicator: egg production. If you've been collecting 450 eggs from a flock of 500 layers and suddenly production drops significantly, don't just say maybe they'll lay better tomorrow. Find out what changed. Maybe feed consumption has dropped. Maybe the birds aren't getting enough water. Maybe there's a lighting problem. Maybe they're under stress. Maybe there's a disease problem. Production records give you an early warning. That's why I keep emphasizing records. You don't have to wait until birds start dying before you know something is wrong. Sometimes the first warning is simply that the numbers have changed. Now, one mistake I want you to avoid is looking at only one bird. Sometimes one chicken behaves differently for a completely different reason. What you really want to know is whether you're dealing with an individual bird or a flock problem. If one bird looks weak, isolate it and observe it. But if 20, 50, or 100 birds suddenly start behaving differently, that's a completely different situation. You need to act quickly. Another thing I recommend is walking through your flock rather than just standing at the door and looking inside. Move around, look at the birds at the back, look in the corners. Now let's say you've walked into the poultry house and you've noticed something isn't right. What do? The first thing is don't panic. Start by observing the situation. How many birds are affected? When did you first notice the problem? Are they eating? These details can be very useful when trying to understand what happened. If you have a bird that's clearly sick, separate it from the healthy birds. You don't want a sick bird sitting in the middle of the flock if there's a possibility that the problem could spread. Have a separate isolation area ready for this purpose. And there's another important rule here. Don't move back and forth between the sick birds and healthy birds without taking precautions. If you handle sick birds and then walk straight into the main poultry house, you could carry whatever is affecting that bird to the rest of the flock. So ideally, deal with your healthy birds first and sick or isolated birds last. Then clean yourself and your equipment properly afterward. Now let's talk about antibiotics. This is an area where I want farmers to be particularly careful. Antibiotics are useful medicines when they're needed and used correctly, but they shouldn't become your first response to every problem you see in the poultry house. Not every disease is bacterial, and antibiotics don't treat viruses. Using antibiotics unnecessarily can also contribute to antibiotic resistance, which can make some infections harder to treat in the future. So if you think your birds need medication, get proper veterinary advice whenever possible, and always follow the instructions for the medicine you're using. And if the medicine has a withdrawal period, take that seriously. If you're selling eggs or meat, you need to know how long you should wait before those products can safely enter the food chain. That's part of being a responsible poultry farmer. Now let's talk about dead birds. Unfortunately, even with good management, you may lose a bird occasionally. When that happens, remove the dead bird from the poultry house as soon as possible. Don't leave dead birds lying around, and don't throw them somewhere near the poultry house where other birds, dogs, or wild animals can get access to them. You also need to pay attention to how many birds you're losing. If you start seeing multiple deaths, don't simply remove the bodies and continue as normal. That's a warning sign. Stop and investigate what's happening. It could be a disease problem, a management problem, or something else affecting the flock. The important thing is not to ignore it. And that brings us to the end of episode 6. If there's one thing I want to leave you with, especially if you're serious about poultry farming, it's this. Always try to prevent disease before it reaches your farm. Good biosecurity, proper vaccination, good management, clean water, proper feeding, and regular monitoring can help you prevent many problems before they become expensive problems. And if you're a serious poultry farmer, I recommend downloading and using the Poultry Intel Manager app. Whether you're planning to start poultry farming or you're already rearing chickens, the app can help you plan and manage your poultry farm, keep track of important activities, and make better decisions. You can download it from the Play Store by searching for Poultry Intel Manager or use the link in the description to download it. In the next episode, we're going to leave the health side of the business and talk about something you'll be doing every single day as a poultry farmer. So subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss episode 7. I'll see you in the next episode.